Hello there, boys and girls. Today, basically, I'm just setting up this scene right now, really super quick. This is the beginning of the last scene. I just got the voice, the last part of the voices from the voice actor, so now I can put those in. I have to go back over some scenes that I already did just to fix the mouth movements to make them a little bit better because I did a test preview and they're not quite where I want them yet, but for right now, I'm going to show you how to basically make things glow. Okay, so basically, we're going to do this in PMD, PMX editor, which you can get in DeviantArt. I'll put a link in the description box. So you can do this with any model too. It doesn't matter, character or prop or any type of thing. So here was this knife that they had on DeviantArt. And so basically, as you can see, it doesn't right now have an edge here. And typically in a lot of these dramatic scenes, you'll have the knife blade edge kind of glow a little bit. So what I have to do is actually import PMD and import it again. Now I could, of course, just make a knife from scratch or mess with the textures, but this way I'm going to do the mesh because say you wanted, I don't know, if you had a character that, let's just say, had something on them that glowed, well, this is how you kind of do that. So basically, what I'll do here is check the right boxes. So I just imported the same mesh twice on here, so I have something to work with. And I'm just going to select some stuff that I don't want to keep. And just to get to this context, vert masking is up here in the PMD view. And if you don't have this PMD view, and this main window just pops up, just click on display model. And then this window will come up, and you click on materials, and then this window will come up. And then on material, these are basically your mesh parts of the mesh of an object of whatever you're messing with. So what I have to do is do a little editing in here and try to cut out some of the pieces that I don't really need. And what happens is basically you want to select, just drag and select the vertex points you want. Make sure this V is on for vertex. Make sure this check box is ticked so that you select the part of the message you want. And so when you have that checked, you just select these vertices down here. Right click on this material 0, and then this window comes up. And you can basically hit, where is it? It's new material separation, English, vertex selection. All that means is select out the vertices that you just selected. And so you would hit that. No, I just already did this, so I'm just doing it again. It's not going to do it when, sometimes I think you need like a certain amount of vertices. Like you can't just select one vertex and try to delete it. So once you do that and you have, say, it'll say a new under here, then you right click it again and hit parts delete under whatever you don't want or whatever you want to delete, and then you'll just have that part deleted. So basically what I'm going to do here is first let's turn on this material. So I'm going to basically delete the texture and put in something that's I can see. Alright. Because white on a white background doesn't work very well. So I'm going to basically alter this mesh just by moving these vertex points. And like I said, I could make another model, but since I already used this model already, I want to be consistent. So right now what I'm doing is I'm creating an edge part of the mesh that usually has that glint that catches the light that you see, or reflectivity. And since this mesh did not have vertice points here, I couldn't just select that edge because there was no edge. So all I have to do basically is move these pieces over and create an edge. And once I can do that, then I can get into, I'm not going to retexture it, I'm just going to save it as like a white or off-white color, and then use an effect in MD called Autoluminous, and that'll make it glow. And so yeah, as I make this edge, in order to make it glow, I'm going to have to import it with an effect in MD called Autoluminous, and that's actually what gives a glowing effect. But in order to use the Autoluminous, you have to have a part of the mesh that you can select to make Autoluminous. And as this knife was made, there's only one part, so I have to do other stuff to it. And basically, that's pretty much it. Get those other pieces down there. And usually with this excess stuff, I try to move this last piece down here. And in order to shrink and stretch, as you can see, anytime you select something, you get this rotational tool wheel thing. And these handles, blue, red, and green for X, Y, and Z, you just pull the click and drag it, and that usually stretches it out in 3D space, so that's how you do that. That's pretty much it. Now I just have to kind of trim that edge or push this together. And sometimes like this, I don't really care about that. I'm just going to squeeze it into oblivion and kind of hide it in the model. That may not be the best thing to do, but I find it works. So now, basically, let me fix it from this part. Basically, we created an edge here that we can later use with Autoluminous. Now, just going back over and kind of trying to tighten up just by hand. It doesn't have to be perfect since it'll be glow. And the glow won't be... Alright, so there we go. There is our edge. Now we're going to go back in here, change these colors to white for ambient. And well, I could leave that as diffuse and whatnot. And actually, right as it is, we have kind of a nice glint. So the last thing we can do is, when you use Autoluminous, this shininess value will kind of be like the reflectivity or how bright you want it to glow, but you can also control that in Autoluminous too. So I'd say probably 3 is fine for now. And let's see, we'll just call this knife Bloody Glint. And save it. Alright, so there we go. There's our knife. We just save it, and that's pretty much it. Usually double save. Sometimes weird things happen, and it said it saves, but then it doesn't save, so basically I'm going to come in here, into my scene and load in what we just made, which is a prop. And here it is. And so this, I believe, was the original prop. So basically I'm just going to copy the nodes from that and paste them onto the new nodes, and now we have our thing perfectly in the right place. You can also do that with motion data from different characters if you wanted to swap out characters and have the same motion. So here's our blade. Now I want to load in Autoluminous. And right off the bat, it doesn't really look like it's glowing since I really had a short or small value 3. And also I have to change, let's see, some of the lighting in here to make it a little bit darker, since it's going to be, I don't know, that'll look a little bit better. Alright, let's actually slap on a bunch of shaders on this. Where's my shader folder? I think I was using this G-Tune shader for this. Blue Moon, let's see what that looks like. Probably something dark too. Let's try 4F. And there we go. One thing about this is this G-Tune shader or whatever gives a little bit of this plasticky look or highlight, which depending on what you're doing, it can be good or bad, whatever. So you can also put it on the whole entire stage too. I think I'm going to use 4F. As you can see, it does the same thing too. I don't know that I want it on the whole entire stage because, let me go to track. You have these white spots or these reflection spots, and also like the walls and everything. Sometimes you want that look, sometimes you don't. Let's see what else we have. And a lot of these, since they're not really named, they're usually just darker versions. Oh yeah, the S is, let's try a different tune shader. G-Tune shader, and that's pretty good, but T-Tune shader is what I usually use. Which these shaders were on Bull Roll. Let's try S4. So that's pretty dark. Might be too, no, that's pretty good. That tune shader, as you can see, it's still have to fix the lighting. At least the placement of the lighting. I don't know how I want to do that yet. But as you can see, you have the same darker shadow or whatever shading, but there's no glint that you usually have. So we have Autoluminous loaded. So what we're gonna do is go into this knife, and this is Miko Effect. Get Miko Effect. I think I did another video on this, but you can go to learnmmd.com or just Miko Effect download and stuff like that. You have to put the DLL file in the folder that has MMD in it, and then this window will just pop up when you click on it. And so what you want to do is right click on your model, set, subtract, whatever, and these are the mesh parts. So in order to use Autoluminous, I just click on the tab for, and it's not going to be Autoluminous, it'll just be whatever the name of the programming file code is called, which is AL emitter, and find the piece that you want to glow, and then hit remove effect, and now it glows. And let's see our stage. I'm curious about seeing if we can get those windows to have a subtle glow to them. But I don't know what the window is. So if you want something to glow and you don't know exactly, like I want these windows to maybe have a soft light coming from them, and you don't know exactly what the piece is, rather than opening up in PMD editor, you can just check these checks on and off. And eventually, what this does is basically show and hide all the parts of the mesh. So, this actually, how many parts are this? My God, this is a huge freaking model. Yeah, 82. Oh, well, there you go. Last one. And I can do the same thing, remove effect, and then I'll have this light. And as you can see, that looks pretty kind of cool. It's a little bit bright, but I can change that in a second too. So, you can also use different Autoluminous things for different things. Like if I only wanted to use one Autoluminous accessory for this knife and then another one for the windows, you can do that. Let's see, that's pretty bright. So, by using size, by changing that value, you should be able to change how bright it shines. Say 3, 2, 2.5. 2 is kind of okay. I still have to do some other things like add in my SSAO. I can find out where I put it. And that's just basically I stack some effects. There we go. Adding in the ambient occlusion kind of works with the Autoluminous too, to kind of blend things together. So let's see what we have so far. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to change this. That's a little too shiny. So I'm probably going to, if I can find where the capture is, set effect. What was I using? T-Tune, I believe. T-Tune 4. That's 4. I've just gotten to the point where I know which ones, like Face On has a little bit of glint. I think Skin On has a lot more glint. That white shininess. I still have to change the direction of the lights and all that thing, too. Looks like she's got that shine gun, but it's actually not red, but actually kind of looks cool like that, so I'll leave that. I have to also go into the model, and as you can see, that this blood splatter around the mouth, I have to fix that. But yeah, so basically that's how you make things glow, how you edit models, and you can kind of create your own model pieces from existing models and things like that. So we're just going to save all this. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall